Katie Chapman, thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. We're here for the Vitality Women's FA Cup Trophy Tour. Here it is in all its glory. A trophy you won 10 times. The first time at the age of 14, right?
Yep.
In 1997. Tell me, what was that like at the age of 14 going from youth football to winning the FA Cup?
Well, an amazing feeling, I think. When you're that young and you're 14, you don't really fear anything and, you want to play in every game and at every moment. So having that opportunity for me was great.
And in the women's game, the FA Cup would it be fair to say it's more significant than the league?
Yeah, in terms of a big trophy to compete for, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the FA Cup is the one you'd want to be in. Obviously, the league is over consistency, isn't it? So it's harder to win the league. But yeah, everyone wants to win the FA Cup.
Your career spanned 22 years between 96 and 2018, right? It's a very long time, and in that time, so much changed for the women's game. So tell me about some of what it was like playing across that period, seeing how much it's evolved, and now sort of watching it with a bit of distance post-retirement. How proud you are of being one of the players to have sort of paved the way for the new generation.
Yeah, I think seeing it come through the years, obviously it was much different back then. There wasn't that many actually women's teams out there that you could go and play for. So there was a lot of travelling involved. Obviously you paid to play back then. Facilities weren't great. Pitches were very muddy, as I remember. A lot of games were called off, obviously, due to weather and stuff like that. And I think, going through the years, seeing the crowds become bigger, seeing the game progress. You look at facilities now, you look at teams. TV is on TV. We've got a fan base now, that come and watch. Bigger crowds that are coming in, and everyone's opinion is changing of the women's game. And I think for me, that's probably the proudest thing that, everyone now wants to come and watch women football and enjoys watching play. And I think the standard is just going up and up, and hence we're attracting, more players from abroad to come and play in the league, and it's going to be one of the best leagues in the world, I believe.
And you mentioned the muddy pitches, the kind of lack of professionalism, as it were, games getting called off due to the weather. Bearing all that in mind, does part of you wish that you were breaking through now with this young generation of England players, or do you look back and are you proud to have sort of endured that tougher period and sort of paved the way, as I mentioned earlier?
I'm proud to have been part of the past history of the women's game and helped develop it to where it's got to. I was lucky enough that I got to play as a professional throughout my career towards the end of it. Would I like to have had more time? Of course. Would I have liked to have taken it back? Of course. But you know what? I'm so proud of where the women's game's got to, and I love, I've got 3 children, I've got 3 boys, and I go and watch them play now, and every time I go and watch them train, they're mixed with girls. And there's so many more girls playing football now, and I think for me that makes me really proud.
That must be wonderful to see. But I bet watching the women play on those Wembley pitches now, I bet you wish they were as good back then.
Yeah, of course. And as I said to you, I got the opportunity to play on those nice pitches. Whether it be representing England, playing in big stadiums, or whether it's Chelsea and Arsenal. I got to play in great stadiums and on good surfaces. So I got to have that, whereas a lot of people that paved the way, from now didn't get that experience, didn't have any of that stuff. So I've sort of been involved in both sides of it. And yeah, of course, I'd love to still be playing and be part of it now. But, I'm still, working for Chelsea and still hopefully pushing the women's game forward.
And as you mentioned, you've played for both clubs, Arsenal and Chelsea, who will be competing in the upcoming FA Cup final. What were the main differences between your experiences at each team as a player? Because obviously you spent 2 spells at Arsenal, didn't you?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, I won most of my trophies at Arsenal. That's where I had most of my success. Obviously, ending my career at Chelsea, where I'd won 2 FA Cups with Chelsea as captain there. Listen, 2 great teams, 2 great squads of players. The names on the team sheet, I think, says it all. And I think the game coming up at Wembley on the 5th is going to be a real showcase for the women's game. It's going to be a great game of football, and it's always a great atmosphere. And both teams are going to want to get their hands on that trophy for sure. And
one of the names that casual viewers will definitely be aware of is called Chelsea manager Emma Hayes, who has been at Chelsea for a while now and is now a big name. She was doing punditry during at the Euros during the summer. Yeah. What's it like to play under Emma Hayes?
It's unbelievable. She's a great manager. She's a great person. She's finer details. Emma's one of them that likes to get the finer details right. And I think before this game, she will be absolutely prepared. Every player will know their role, know the tactics, and they'll go in this game 100% prepared.
She's been linked with. There's been a lot of talk of Emma Hayes maybe moving into the men's game, and do you think she actually wants to, and should she have to, in a way? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that a logical next step, or should she just continue her brilliant progress in the women's game?
I think it depends. I think, as a woman stepping into the men's game obviously is a great opportunity. I think it depends what opportunity they give her, because she's at a high level, she's highly qualified, she's great at the job she does. So is she going to then, step away from the Chelsea job into a job that's maybe further down the chain? Is that a step backwards rather than a step forwards, just to have the opportunity to be within the men's game? If it arises, I'm sure she'd want to take it. But I don't know, she's had a lot of success with doing what she's doing. But, sometimes change is good too, so who knows?
And for those who maybe don't watch a lot of the WSL but will be tuning into the FA Cup final, a lot of people know big names like Viv Miedemar, Fran Kirby, who are going to be playing. Which other players that people might not know too much about should they be looking out for during the FA Cup final?
I think you've got a lot. I think you've got Sam Kerr, you've got Pernilla Harder, you've got Jessie Fleming, who's obviously the Olympic gold medalist. You've got Beth Mead, who's playing really, really well. Kim Little, who's playing really well for Arsenal too. So I think, you could name a lot of players on both teams. They're stacked with international players, and it is going to be a really good game.
Can I get a prediction out of you?
I've given my prediction. I'm going to stick with it. I've said 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, well, we'll see. Thank you very much, Katie.
Thank you.